We would like to welcome all of you to the 6th Annual Shape of Carroll Stream Town Meeting. I am Jack Menching from Itasca Bank and Trust Company, and I will act as the moderator of this forum. We're very pleased to work with all the taxing bodies that are here for tonight's program. We promote this type of program so that we can have an informative evening that will allow you, the citizens of Carroll Stream, to ask lots of questions and learn more about what is happening in Carroll Stream. Each speaker will have approximately 5 minutes to talk about their recent accomplishments and future plans of their organization. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, we will then entertain questions from you. We need questions to make this evening a success. In order to speed up the question and answer period, we ask that you write out your questions and turn them in to the people who will be around to collect them throughout the program. All you have to do is hold them up and somebody will come get it from you. For those of you at home, you can email them to administration@carrollstream.org. It's administration@carrollstream.org. Or you can phone them in, and we have people, operators there to write down your questions at 630-871-6250. That's 630-871-6250. And we'll take questions from by phone or by internet up till 8:30 on that. So I will then read the questions so that everyone can hear them and people can hear them at home, and then direct them to the proper party. Or sometimes they're group questions, and it'll go to multiple parties up here. We'll try to answer all of your questions if time permits. The only thing that we ask is that the questions be non-political and not get personal. In the past, some of the questions have involved personnel issues and salary information. Although some of this is public information, these questions are not appropriate for this type of forum, and we won't read those questions. Unfortunately, we cannot allow people to speak from the audience because it slows the process down and will limit the number of questions that we can read. We want to get through as many questions as we can. If it looks to me like we're not going to get through all the questions, I'll actually say something to all the panelists and just say, please try to speed up your answers a little bit so we can get through everything. After the program, there'll be cookies and coffee for everyone. Unless you're at home, then you have to go to your own kitchen. And you can use that time to talk further with your elected and appointed officials. There have been many exciting events in the village this past year. Carroll Stream makes the papers all the time. We should have lots of questions for our speakers. The speakers tonight are going to be Tony Cicero, Board President, Community Consolidated School District 93, Rick Fisher, Trustee, Carroll Stream Fire Protection District, Tim Powers, Board President, Carroll Stream Park District, Gary Sake, Board President, Community High School District 94, that's West Chicago High School, Jim Bailey, Board President, Carroll Stream Public Library, Anna Taylor, Board President, Benjamin School District 25, Rose Malcolm, Board Vice President, Glenbard High School District 87, that's Glenbard North, and Maria Beitelman, Board Member, Elgin Unit School District 46, and Frank Savarino Sr., Mayor, the Village of Carroll Stream. Many of our speakers have brought people from their organizations to handle any questions which may get technical. We ask all of them to use the microphones or speak into the microphones when you answer. And I also hope if anybody has any board members here and would like to introduce them in the audience, please feel free to do that. Our first speaker tonight is Tony Cicero. He is the Board President, Community Consolidated School District 93. He's been president for 4 years, he's been on the board for 9 years, and has lived in the district for 35 years. Tony?
Thank you. I'd like to thank Itasca Bank and Trust once again for hosting this annual event. Here with us this evening, we have Dr. William Shields, our Superintendent of Schools, and also Vice President, Mr. Keith Briggs. Before I start updating you on the district, I'd like to acknowledge 3 of our educators who have been recognized by the Illinois State Board of Education's Those Who Excel program for outstanding work as educators. Paula Wanders at Elsie Johnson School, Jennifer English at Stratford Middle School, and Allison Nyhoff at our Early Childhood Center. I'm excited to give you an update of what's been happening in District 93 over the past year. If there is any information I'm not able to get through this evening, please make sure to visit our site at ccsd93.com. We are a very transparent district, and we take a lot of pride in what we've accomplished at District 93. We want schools that people are proud of, and we want families to move to Carroll Stream because of our reputation. We currently have 3,800 students with a total district staff of 670. The average number of years teaching in our district is 15. We serve areas of Carroll Stream, Hanover Park, and Bloomingdale with a total of 10 sites, including our Early Childhood Center, which opened up just a year ago. Our full-day kindergarten program currently has 326 enrolled, and we have 200 students enrolled in our early childhood program, which is a direct result of our investment to build our Early Childhood Center. We currently have bilingual programs for Spanish, Gujarati, and Polish-speaking students. Our whole child programs consist of our mentor program, magnet program, special education, bullying task force, Expect Respect Coalition, Character Counts, and PBIS. We are currently in year 2 of our 5-year strategic plan, which was created with the input of over 1,500 staff, parents, community members, and business leaders. Our school board and the Carroll Stream Education Association worked together to craft an agreement earlier this year that is aligned to that strategic plan. Professional development and adding time to the school day were 2 components of the agreement. We also came to an agreement with the CSSSA, which is our support staff association, and professional development is also a component of that agreement. In regards to personalized learning, back in February of 2012, seems like yesterday, District 93 piloted a device rollout in kindergarten and 6th grade. 2.5 years later, we are proud to say that we are officially a 1-to-1 district throughout, with 1 device for each student. Our program is much more than just handing out devices to students. We are transforming the way teachers teach and students learn. Without a dedicated staff to support this initiative, it would not have been a success. Over the past 2 years, we have offered summer technology academies to all of our staff. Although neither were mandatory, many staff attended, and it is a true testament to our staff's commitment to our district. Over the past year, we also implemented boundary changes to help balance schools and provide more equal utilization of our facilities. As a district, we always continue to cut expenses, and for the 6th year of the past 7 years, we did not collect the full tax rate. All of this while continuing to receive accolades in financial reporting for over 20 consecutive years. We have installed permeable pavers in 4 schools, and while the cost is roughly 20% more, pavers typically have twice the lifespan and cost a fraction to maintain. Our comprehensive financial report can also be viewed on our website. On behalf of the members of District 93 Board of Ed, we are honored to serve such a great district. When you combine a quality education with a strong community, the results are very promising, and we are leading our children down the best possible path they can to succeed in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Our next speaker is Rick Fisher. He's trustee with the Carroll Stream Fire Protection District. He's been on the board for 7 years and been in town for 20 years. Rick?
Hello. With me today is our fire chief, Rick Colomay. Over the last year, the Carroll Stream Fire District has achieved many administrative and operational goals. This year, we have committed as a fire district to participate in the Excellence in Financial Reporting program in accordance to the Government Finance Officers Association. The district, for the first time in its history, has applied for the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting. The fire prevention and public education departments have been very active in the opening of new industrial and commercial businesses that have been coming into Carroll Stream. The most notable lately being Caputo's, the main distribution center and grocery store. The fire district has continued to improve and expand with the West Suburban Fire Rescue Alliance, with involved agencies. This year, adding to the fire service functional cooperation of Carroll Stream, Wheaton, West Chicago, and Winfield, the Bloomingdale Fire District has joined the alliance. Combining training schedules, they continue to train together routinely, and unify as a highly cooperative firefighting and emergency medical service to better serve our community and our citizens, as well as protect our first responders. Cost sharing with the Alliance has continued with training equipment purchases, special rescue services, and reserve apparatus sharing, which has helped to keep operational costs down and service quality very high. Most recently, the board and the fire chief have initiated measures towards the improvement and/or reconstruction of Fire Station 29, which is located at the intersections of Schmale and St. Charles Roads. The building was originally a gas station and is approximately 50 years old. It was converted back in 1976 and expanded upon to be the station that you see now. The Village of Carroll Stream, the Carroll Stream Police Department, the Carroll Stream Park District, and the Carroll Stream Fire District continue their strong and especially successful efforts in working together to seamlessly with the fire and police operations, training, fire and building code inspections, plan reviews, social services, public education, and disaster services. This bond is becoming greater each year, and their efforts have been very effective and efficient for our businesses and citizens that we all serve. In conclusion, I would like to mention that on Saturday, October 4th, we will be hosting our Fire Prevention Week open house at our headquarters, Fire Station 28. It's located on Coon Road, just north of North Avenue, and we invite everybody to come out and see us. We really encourage that you bring the kids to experience the educational fire activities, such as stop, drop, and roll, touch a truck, the firefighters fitness challenge that we have for the kids, a lot of fun for the kids and really fun to watch. We also have opened a museum and memorial in our lobby. The memorial being for that who all suffered in the 9/11 attack, as well as exhibits on artifacts of our history here with the Fire District in Carroll Stream. Once again, we welcome everybody to come out and really enjoy the day. We appreciate your time and the opportunity to speak here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Our next speaker is Tim Powers, Board President, Carroll Stream Park District. He's been on the board for 7 years, been in president for 2 years, and been in town for 33 years. Tim?
Thank you, Jack. I wanted to introduce my support team tonight. Jim Reuter, who is our new director. Welcome, Jim. And Sue Rini, who is our finance director. Thanks for being here. I also first want to thank the partners we have with all the people sitting up here, because you've worked so well with us and allowed us to achieve great things in the last number of years, so I want to thank you all. I'll start with a little recap on Armstrong Park. As you probably know, if you go around the community at all, you see there's a lot going on over there. A lot of equipment, a lot of change. I'm so happy that we got rid of that big dirt hill, but that's just me. Also, a little technical aspect or explanation of what's going on. We've completed the little holes, and then we're still working on the big holes. The little hole would be the gravity reservoir, and the large hole would be the main reservoir. So those are coming along very well. There's been some reseeding done already. We're also working on the ball fields. Those are being reworked again, and one of the fields we're going to raise, so that's going to bring it up out of the floodplain. And hopefully that'll allow us to have more games without rainouts there. The work is going to take a long time. It probably won't be anywhere near ready until next year sometime. But once we're done with that portion, we are planning on replacing Kids World. I know it's meant a lot to people over the years, and we're going to try and do the same thing again and bring it back up to where it should be to make it look nice and serve the community. The next thing on my list was McCaslin Park. You might notice that we're doing a little work out there too. Of course, the ball fields are all complete. We've been very lucky by making the decision to put turf in. It's prevented rainouts at that field. We've had a lot of use out there. We've generated a lot of rental income that helps a whole lot for our bottom line. And what we're doing now is we're adding amenities to the park, things like a splash pad, the bank shot basketball game. Go out and take a look at that and try and play it. I still don't know what it is. We've also upgraded the cricket pitch. We've had the Cricket Association out there for many years, and we appreciate their use of the field, and we want to keep that up to standard for them also. One of the things I've been real excited about recently, we were awarded our LEED Silver Certificate for Fountain View Rec Center. That was the culmination of what we've tried to do to establish an environmentally friendly building and do all the things right for the community. We are the first recreation center in Illinois to receive LEED certification. I also want to thank everybody here and at home who attended Carol Stream Barks, our dog festival last week. It was hugely successful, and we couldn't have asked for more. We had some national coverage on that, which we were real excited about. And hopefully we can continue to draw all the people and their dogs out to an annual festival. I also want to bring up a new program that I saw mentioned recently, and I was so excited about it. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know it's just starting. It's called the Homeschool Swim and Gym Program. All the people that are homeschooled, and I'm not sure how many people we have in town who participate in that, but this will offer them an opportunity to get physical education and exercise without having to attend schools, you know, in the traditional sense. So we're very excited about that, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people, you know, taking part in that. And that's about it.
Great, Tim, and I'm going to ask the first question before somebody else asks it. With the Park Festival, how do you pick the person to clean up?
They're volunteers, Jack.
Okay, okay. Our next speaker is Gary Sake. He's Board President, Community High School District 94, West Chicago High School. He's been on the board for 6 years, been in president for 2 years, and it doesn't live in Carol Stream, but obviously lives in the school district. Gary?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Itasca Bank and Trust and the Village of Carol Stream for this opportunity this evening. We always enjoy participating in this event and sharing the many great things happening at Community High School with the community. With me this evening is Dr. Douglas Damaraki, the superintendent, and appreciate his being here today. For those of you unfamiliar with Community High School, District 94, we proudly serve approximately 2,100 students from portions of Carol Stream, West Chicago, Winfield, Warrenville, and Wheaton. First and foremost, since we are focused on students, I'd like to share news of some of their recent achievements. One of our students was recently named as National Merit Scholar semifinalist. Our Future Business Leaders of America competed in national competition. The personal finance team won second place in state competition. Our boys baseball team won as regional champions this past spring. Several athletes were state qualifiers and received athletic scholarships to Division I schools. And our drama program received numerous individual and group awards during state competition. If I were to relate all the awards and recognitions, I need to use far more time than I have this evening, but I hope it gives you a flavor of some of the things that they've been, some of the things they've accomplished. As a district last year, we're named to the College Board AP Honor Roll, which recognizes the district for sustained growth in advanced placement course offerings, enrollment, and test scores. We are one of only 477 schools from across the United States and Canada, and only one of 30 in Illinois to receive this recognition. Community High School continues to enjoy one of the highest graduation rates and lowest dropout rates in DuPage County. We are proud of the growing number of our staff who have earned the distinction of being nationally board-certified teachers. Financially, the district remains healthy. This past March, we received our 11th successive ranking of financial recognition from the Illinois State Board of Education and our 5th consecutive perfect 4.0 fiscal profile score. This is an achievement that very few districts in Illinois can claim. Over the past year, the board and administration have been working together to solidify long-term plan for the infrastructure needs of the district and have developed a 5-year action plan to meet those needs. This past summer, in addition to the traditional cleaning, fixing, and painting that takes place, we constructed 2 new foods kitchen classrooms, including a commercial culinary arts kitchen that will allow us to expand our curriculum. The child development classroom and associated wild preschool classrooms were rebuilt, 2 parking lots reconstructed, a commons courtyard patio area was built, and 2 sections of roofing were replaced. Additionally, 150 interior doors were replaced to meet new life safety standards, security cameras were upgraded, a card access system was installed, and Wi-Fi was extended into each classroom to prepare for our one-in-one initiative, which I'll speak about in a moment. In all, approximately $2.7 million worth of renovations were completed this summer, all funded through existing fund balances. It represents the largest investment in our facility since the 1999 building addition. This year, we are undertaking the second phase of the plan, which includes consolidating student services into a new student services center, activity center, and college and career center. To make room for all of this, we'll be relocating our district administrative staff off campus to 157 West Washington Street in West Chicago. The building is owned by the City of West Chicago, and they have graciously granted us a no-cost 5-year lease to use the facility, and we're very appreciative of that. Earlier, I mentioned the district's one-to-one initiative. As you've heard from other districts here and will hear, we are all at one stage or another of implementing a one-to-one computing environment, where each student will receive a computer to use both inside and outside the school. During the 2013-14 school year, we were engaged in the pilot programs leading up to the selection of the device we will use, and this year is focused on providing professional development to our staff to help them utilize the equipment appropriately in their curriculum. Next year, each student will be issued a Google Chromebook at the beginning of the year. Each student having their own device personalizes instruction, enhances engagement, and opens doors to enhanced learning opportunities. As are all school districts in Illinois, we are very involved in implementing the Common Core standards for math and English and understanding how students in the district will be impacted by the new student growth model. Collaboration and articulation with our 3 partner districts, Benjamin 25, West Chicago 33, and Winfield 34, is providing a more seamless transition from the middle school to high school, as well as taking advantage of purchasing power of the combined districts when appropriate. As you can see, there's a tremendous amount going on at the high school. We invite and encourage the community to attend the many events that take place throughout the year, such as plays, athletic events, community forums, and fundraisers. In particular, I'd like to extend an invitation to performances of the comedy One Man, Two Governors that will be performed on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And more information about all the activities going on at the school is available at the district's website, d94.org, and you can also sign up there for our newsletter to stay informed. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Gary. Our next speaker is Jim Bailey. He's board president of the Carroll Stream Public Library. Been on the board for 9 years, been president for 1.5 years, and been in town for 35 years. Jim?
Thank you. Good evening. It's a good thing to be here, and I do appreciate the opportunity. I'd like to thank Itasca, is it Itasca or Itasca?
Itasca.
I always get that wrong. Itasca Bank and the village for letting us come and do this. I'd also like to thank our director, Susan Westgate, for keeping me out of trouble with the board and helping us tonight. In the past, we were known as the troublemakers. Now we're known as the fun place, and it is a pleasure to be a part of that change. So the role of the Board of Trustees is really to provide oversight and try to help the library maintain the facility, the staff, and the things they need to service the needs of the community. We kind of take a backseat role. We don't get involved in the day-to-day management, but we do look to Susan to make the decisions that a CEO would make or at a private company. And when she doesn't do things that we like, we tell her that, but not very often. Speaking of that, we have a dedicated staff. We couldn't enjoy the success that we do enjoy without that. It's not unusual for us to retire members that have been there 30-plus years, very much dedicated, and it really helps. So let's talk about some of the things that happened in the past year. We had over 200,000 visitors at our library, and we circulated over 500,000. That's an amazing bunch of numbers for a little library, I think. We have a collection size of over 200,000 items, including books, magazines, DVDs. We're trying to get rid of the old VHSs, CDs, audiobooks, and more. Again, an astonishing amount of things for our small library. We're open 7 days a week, and we provide online services 24/7 through our website. Some of those services include databases that we subscribe to that you can use as though you had paid for it out of your own pocket, which you did through taxes, but program calendar, newsletters, just, chat reference, a lot of online registration and access media for you. We also provide public computers, printers, copiers, fax, scanners, study rooms, meeting rooms, friends book sale, and a family play area with games and other activities. Some of the things we did in the past year was to get hooked up with a product called Zinio, and that allows us to provide downloadable e-magazines through that service to our patrons. In October, we will be offering on-demand streaming video with Hoopla. I think that's pretty exciting for us too. I'm excited. We updated the patron computer reservation system. We installed new preschool computers, and we have a new Peekabook viewing station and youth services. So programs and things that we did, we offered a total of 621 programs during the year with nearly 20,000 attendees. We held 2 community events in the past year. We had a holiday open house last December that attracted over 1,800 people. In May, we held a Cinco de Mayo event and had over 1,200. They were both phenomenally successful, and we hope to be able to do the same thing again. Our new Discovery Play Table in the Youth Services Department features a train set and Duplo box for the kiddies. That should be fun. In addition to the traditional services, we also provide an exciting new early literacy and Cindy program, which is called 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. And it's really a challenge to get the kids started early reading books. And I believe it's a national program. You would correct me if I'm wrong, of course. We provide homebound delivery to local patrons that can't come to the library. The librarians deliver over 200 items each month to over 40 local patrons. We're one of only a few local libraries that provide that service, by the way. We have an English conversation practice program every Tuesday morning for ESL learners. The program has been active for 3 years. We provide a teen advisory board of local teens that plans events and projects at the library for the teens. We also provide final study nights for high school students when we're open, and they're open until 11 p.m. to help them come together and focus on studying. And the Museum Adventure Pass program provides patrons with the opportunity to get free passes to local museums. I think that's a lot. We won a couple of awards last year. We were best in the parade, and that was quite an honor to do that, and also fun. In August 2014, the library's Youth Chess Club won second place in the annual neighboring library chess tournament. I didn't even know that was going on, but I'm glad we did. Some things that we look to do this year. We just started a couple of months ago developing a strategic plan, and we're looking at a 3-year plan, looking at where the library is today, what do we need to do, and how should we do it. And we're basing this on advice from the community, also from board members and staff members. So it's been really interesting to look in on and participate. Joe Breinig was with us last week in an intense 2-day session where we really focused on nailing down the items that we want to put into the plan. We are working with an external consultant, and we hope to be able to get this plan approved through the board in December, so we can get a clean start in the new year. I might add that I think this is the first time in the history of our library that we have had such an exhaustive plan. I may be wrong. If I am, I'll holler. We're also working with Tim and the Park District to establish a passive park on the Coon Road property. And I understand that this is going to give some place to throw frisbees and let dogs or kids catch them. I think there may be some picnic tables and some porta potties. So we're not going to. Maybe, well, you know, I should let you talk about that. Anyway, you know, our lawyers are talking about this and making sure we do it all properly, so. But I think it's a really good idea to get some community use out of the property instead of just letting it sit there. So it is a good investment for our library, and I think it's a good investment in the community for that use. Mark your calendar for Sunday, December 7th. The library will be hosting another holiday open house. We're going to have live reindeer. Wow. Santa will be here. Victorian carolers. These people, if you've not heard them, they're absolutely phenomenal. I've watched them several times at our church. They do a great job. Some crafts. Join us for an afternoon of fun from 1:30 to 4:30. And believe it or not, I'd like to just say that it's been an exciting year. I'm not sure I had any idea of what to expect, but it's been busy. It's been very rewarding. We have a very, very involved, proactive board of trustees that regularly attend improvement training and state library functions. It's just been great. And I'd like to, in closing, thank Susan for her efforts in pulling all of this together. It's been a good year for us all, and thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Our next speaker is Anna Taylor. She's board president, Benjamin School District 25. She's been on the board for 2 years, been in her position 3 months, and been in town 15 years. Welcome to the presidency.
Thank you very much. Because I'm so new to the role, obviously I've brought some help. With me is our superintendent, Dr. Philip Earhart, and then Tammy Mastriani, who is our former president and a fellow board member with me. So thanks again for having me. It's been a good year at Benjamin District 25, and for those of you who aren't familiar with our district, we are Evergreen Elementary and Benjamin Middle School. Our average class sizes are still at about 20 for the elementary grade levels and about 23 at the middle school level. Our average student achievement scores have been among the highest in DuPage County. This year has been a big year for us because technology has been integrated into our district, and it's really a teaching and a learning tool. We've gone on a one-to-one basis, so our students in 4th through 8th grade have a computer to use both at school and at home. And then we have one-to-one iPads for the elementary students. This is similar to what we've learned from the other districts. All schools have adopted a new comprehensive safety and crisis plan in cooperation with our local school and fire departments. This plan provides a safe and coordinated response to emergency situations, and I think we can all agree with what's going on in the world. This is really important. We've installed surveillance cameras, we've updated our fire systems, we've had entrance modifications, and we have a new visitor management system. And we feel this has greatly enhanced the safety of our school. We're doing really strong on our scorecard. The only target that we haven't met this year is our energy consumption, and we can thank Mother Nature for that. It was a rough winter. But we do continue to implement cost-saving measures, and we've got all of those listed on our website. So I urge all of you in your downtime to check us out at bendist25.org. We have been presented by the Illinois State Board of Education with a Certificate of Financial Recognition, to the district. And our Evergreen Elementary has earned the Early Childhood Program, and we've met the Accelerate Illinois Silver Circle of Quality. The district, we continue to reduce our carbon footprint, and we're intensifying recycling and installing efficient devices and equipment. We have a really strong, just like all the other school districts, a really strong sense of community and a strong parent base. Our Benjamin Foundation, our Benjamin Education Foundation has funded 8 grants this year, which helped us to fund our technology project. And we have a strong PTA, our Parent Teacher Association, and we have earned another recognition by the PTO magazine as Parent Group of the Year. 85% of our Benjamin students are involved in extracurricular activities, which is really outstanding. And I'm happy to say that for the last 5 years, our high school graduation rate in our district has been 100%. And of that, 46% of our students are National Honor Society members, which is really amazing because we make up approximately 16% of the student enrollment. So it's just been a good year. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Anna. Our next speaker is Rose Malcolm. She's Board Vice President of Glenbard High School District 87, Glenbard North. She's been on the board for 15 years, been in her position as Vice President for 3 years, and been in town for 30 years. Rose?
Hi. A lot of us have been around here over 30 years, so. Glenbard North High School is one of 4 of District 87 high schools. We're the 3rd largest high school district in Illinois. I'm here tonight with our superintendent, David Larson, who's beginning his 3rd year with us. Glenbard is recognized for the outstanding work its leadership, teachers, students, and community do every day to support the efforts to inspire and empower our students to succeed. All 4 schools were named to the Washington Post list of America's most challenging high schools. Our schools have a long tradition of excellence, and our academic programs challenge all of our students to achieve at higher levels. Last year, we successfully adjusted our school day schedule to build time into the school day for students to access academic supports as well as enrichment opportunities. This year, all of our freshmen and their teachers will use iPads as learning tools in the classroom. Many of their textbooks, novels, workbooks, and assignment materials will be in the iPads. And this technology helps teachers create highly engaging experiences for our students. All of our students are encouraged to pursue a passion and participate in at least one club, activity, or sport. Our coaches and club advisors emphasize character development and the importance of service to their communities. Our finances remain strong, and District 87 has been recognized for the 8th consecutive year with the Illinois State Board of Education recognition. We're all tongue-tied up here. It's an odd name for an award. Anyway, thanks to our voters, last spring, our zero tax rate referendum passed in the spring, and it will allow us to work on implementing our master facilities plan over the next 10 years. Our capital improvements will ensure our students have facilities that will meet the needs of 21st century learners. We have a series called the Glenbard Parent Series, which engages top experts and school staff to become proactive and informed in order to strengthen our communities. For more information about our programs, of course, go to www.glenbard87.org, or you can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. I want to remind you that school board elections are this year, and if you are interested, I hope you are. I'm going to finish my 16th year on the board, and I will not be rerunning, so really important to get somebody from Carroll Stream interested. And then lastly, I want to just talk a little bit about Glenbard North. Their colors are black and gold because Glenbard North is a gem in our backyard. Through partnerships with the Park District and the Village, we have top-notch athletic facilities for our students. The Panthers are away this weekend playing Naperville Central, but our next home game is October 3rd, and homecoming is October 10th. There's a choral concert on October 21st and a band concert on the 28th. And finally, the fall play will be November 20th to the 22nd. Even though I'm mentioning Glenbard North, you are welcome to attend athletic events, music, and plays at any of our high school, and we really do have top-notch athletes and performers. And my last thing I want to say is I'm looking forward to Kids World being rebuilt. I want to let everyone know that those slats in the fence were cut at Glenbard North Wood Shop. And I varnished them and ruined a pair of boots.
Thank you, Rose. It's kind of nice here to hear as the people talk about, there is a lot of teamwork that goes on amongst the taxing bodies up here, and a lot of towns aren't fortunate to have that, but we do these forums in a number of towns, and the towns that work together seem to get a whole lot more accomplished than the towns that don't. So hats off to everybody up here for working together and being a good team. Also, for those of you at home, we could use some more questions from you. You can email them to administration@carrollstream.org, administration@carrollstream.org, or you can phone them in to our operators at 630-871-6250, 630-871-6250. Our next speaker is Maria Beitelman. She is a board member of Elgin Unit School District number 46. And I don't have the information as to how long you've been on the board.
I've been on the board for 7 years.
7 years, and how long in the community?
I've been in the community for 15.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to participate tonight. Board President Donna Smith usually attends this on a regular basis, but she had a family conflict tonight. It's kind of a last-minute thing, so I hope I can fill her shoes. She's got quite the history with U46. So, and tonight with me is Tony Sanders, and he is a new role with us in U46 as a CEO. And thank you for being here tonight. We're 6 weeks into the new school year, and things have gotten off to an exciting start. Some of our highlights include the expansion of the dual language program to include 5th grade with a current enrollment of nearly 840 students. Our expansion of the gifted program, which includes participation of 66 4th graders in dual language gifted at the newly renamed Ronald D. O'Neill Elementary School, and an increase from 5 to 7 gifted elementary sites. An additional preschool classroom at Nature Ridge, for a total of 51 classrooms at 12 sites. An enrollment of 1,189 students in 5 high school academies. A district-wide wireless upgrade with the installation of 12 new wireless systems during the first semester of the 2014-2015 school year. The purchase of 2,800 student laptops for schools throughout the district. I think for 1-to-1, we'd have to add about another 38,000, so we're working on it. The renaming of Sheridan Elementary School to Ronald D. O'Neill Elementary School to honor the district's first African-American administrator. In addition, staff and students from 13 U46 schools participated in the popular Ice Bucket Challenge to raise awareness for the disease ALS. In addition, U46, or in total, I should say, U46 schools raised more than $6,500 for initiatives in the fight against ALS. 2 U46 students were recognized by the Center for Talent Development at a special award ceremony on September 6th for their high scores in the Northwestern University Midwest Academic Search, NUMATS program. Bartlett High School student Michael McGrath was named a semifinalist in a 2015 National Merit Scholarship Program. Less than 1% of U.S. high school seniors are selected as semifinalists. 4 South Elgin High School seniors are finalists in the All-American High School Film Festival and will face international competition in New York City next month. U46 kicked off a campaign called I'm Here, Aquí Estoy, and I hope I said that right. It's in Spanish, to help improve the district's student attendance rates. The messaging campaign will increase awareness about the importance of ensuring students are in school every day. The attendance rate for U46 in 2013-14 was 94.3%. The campaign was created to support our district improvement plan attendance for 98% school attendance. U46 families will receive attendance toolkits with information about excused and unexcused absences and tips for getting students to school on time each day. U46 will also engage the community, encouraging them to spread the word by displaying "I'm here" at Kia Stoi to parents. Also, in the last year, Bartlett and Elgin High Schools were once again named best high schools in the nation by the Daily Beast and the U.S. News and World Report. Sorry, I'm skipping around a bit here. We're in the middle of, well, actually towards the end of our budget for fiscal year 2015. We have a proposed budget of 48 million, a balanced budget of 48 million in revenue and 487.7 million in expenditures. That was proposed to the board in August. That budget allocation, resource allocations include expand the all-day kindergarten, dual language, early childhood, and AIM and Ignite gifted programs, educational extracurricular opportunities for all students, alignment of curriculum to new learning standards, and increased technology in the classroom, expanding our wireless access and replacing old computers. The board is scheduled to vote on this budget September 29th. And I guess also with regard to that, we, in August, in a very uneventful contract negotiations, the board approved a three-year agreement with the Elgin Teachers Association. The fiscally responsible agreement includes additional professional development for staff and new extracurricular activities for students. And I guess I would say, as just I know that there's some interest in a situation that we've had with a reporting error for Kane County Clerk's office that caused a tax increase for residents of DuPage County. At our most recent board meeting, a representative from the Kane County Clerk's office explained that the miscalculation was at no fault of U46 and that the district properly submitted its tax levy. At that meeting, we have been assured that the Kane County Clerk's office will rectify the error and the taxpayers will see the correction reflected in the next year's tax bills. And being from Kane County, unfortunately, that I will experience some of that balance by having my taxes probably increased. So we're all kind of having to do our own budgeting as a result of this mistake. So thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Maria. It's kind of interesting listening to the talk so far. The first year we did this, which was 5 years ago, we were starting right into the deep recession, and the whole conversation was a whole lot different about cutting, and unbalanced budgets and that. So it's a lot more pleasant to hear things than it was 5 years ago. Our last speaker, before we get into the questions, is Frank Savarino Sr. He's the mayor for the Village of Carroll Stream. Been on the board for 14 years. Been mayor for 8 years and been in town for 35 years. Mayor?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Jack Metching from Itasca Bank, for hosting this, and especially Don Weiss, and Don's in the back. Don is one of our trustees that works in Addison that brought this to us because they've been doing it in Addison, and we like transparency, so we jumped right on it, and everybody went along with it. My village manager, Joe Brynick, which is my right hand. In the audience tonight, I have Matt McCarthy, one of our trustees, Rick Gieser, one of our trustees, Mary Frizzoloni, Don Weiss, which I already introduced, and John LaRocca. The only trustee that's not here is at the firehouse, and he's working tonight, but he's watching us, he said, so, which is a good thing. That was a joke.
Oh, he wrote all the questions.
Yeah. I think he's sending about 60 of them already. I'm pleased to report to you on the details of the steady progress of the village in this past year. We focused on capital projects, parkway tree replanting, public safety, and financial management. Roadway improvements, the village is completing one of the largest roadway construction seasons in its history. This single effort includes an investment of $3.49 million, which we paid for. Improvements to 344,503 square yards of roadway have been replaced or will be replaced this year. Capital projects, just for a few, Illini Bridge, We're behind on that because of the weather. Every time it rained, the water went up and they quit working. They couldn't work in the water. So it's unfortunate for J Stream. I want to thank the school district because they're actually busing the kids that live right by the school to take them all the way around because the bridge isn't done. But those are the things that happen. Pedestrian pathway extensions. The village competed for and received $666,000 in federal grant funding for a 1-mile extension of the Lees Road path from Gary Avenue to Schmale Road. A 3/4 mile extension of the Coon Road bike path, well, I call it bike path, of the path, from Lees Road to Army Trail. The construction on these pathways will take place in 2015. Lees Road pavement rehabilitation, the village competed and received $319,000 in federal funding to resurface Lees Road from Fair Oaks to County Farm. Design work on this project will begin this spring. Economic development, Caputo's Fresh Market Food, which was supposed to hold their grand soft opening today, will now do it tomorrow. So if you think you missed it, you didn't, you can still get there tomorrow. And that's the Schmale and North Avenue operation. That brings to us, that's tax-bearing and brings in about 290 new jobs because they didn't close the store to come here. They just added the people. Other new developments include Jet Bright Car Wash in Windfall Plaza. That's on Gary Avenue. That's being built now. O'Reilly Auto Parts in Heritage Plaza. That'll be coming along on Army Trail Road. I think all the permits are in on that one, or most of them to get started. Owens and Minor is a major distributor of medical and surgical supplies to the acute healthcare sector, is planning to build out of their facility at 437 to 513 or 515 Tower Boulevard, which will create 50 to 60 new jobs. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's plus to what they have, and that building is over 500,000 square feet, and they're using every space, every inch of that space up. Emerald ash borer, the village has been addressing this problem since it was discovered in 2007. Since 2011, the village has removed more than 2,460 trees, replanted more than 1,700 trees, including 600 trees this fall. Clang Creek Flood Mitigation Project in Armstrong Park. A few of the trustees have have already touched on this project. This is a major project that we fought really hard to get the money for, and some of us had to go testify at the county and really put a lot of pressure on some people at the county to get this. They finally went along with it, and that's where this 12 million, is that right? 12 million plus project in dollars is coming from. It's a long project, it's drug out, but it's a project that hopefully it'll be worth it. The people that live along the streets that the pipes are going under are, thank you for your patience. We really appreciate it, because it's just a work in progress, but when it's done, it will be something that'll be, hopefully will alleviate a lot of the flooding. Let's see, public safety. Again, we're picked, this is the top 100 safest towns in the U.S. as ranked by Neighborhood Scout, a respected location-based risk analysis firm for Fortune 500 companies. Carroll Stream ranked 77th safest community in the nation for towns with populations of 25,000 or more in 2014. Traffic safety recognition, again, our police department. First place in the Illinois Traffic Safety Competition in the championship class of top performing traffic agencies. Best in class DUI impaired driving enforcement, best in class commercial truck enforcement, and Officer Dan Steffi, did I get that right? Steffi, I did that right, okay, was awarded the 2014 Hero Award by the Illinois chapter of Mothers Against Drunk Driving for outstanding performance in DUI enforcement. They asked me to go when they got this award, and I was very impressed from the state police, the sheriff departments, and everybody that was there to get these awards and watch our police department for as hard as they work for what they earned. And believe me, they work hard for them. Crime-free housing. The village's police department was an early adopter of the community policing and worked closely with the apartment managers for the past 2 decades. to address a variety of quality of life issues specific to rental communities. The Special Operations Unit will undertake a crime-free housing initiative that will build on our relationship with apartment managers to assist them with enhanced screening of interested tenants, addressing problems tenants, conducting safety and security audits of their complexes, and rectifying outstanding property maintenance and code deficiencies. The goal of this initiative is to enhance the quality of life for those living in the apartment communities as well as rental homes. Yard waste transfer station. Yard waste transfer station. Got that? Yard waste, okay. And many of the 2013, in May of 2013, the village was approached by Green Organics, an organics processing company that manufactures commercial-grade compost, asking to lease a 1-acre parcel at the Water Reclamation Center facility. The Water Reclamation Center facility. That's where, yes, okay. Everybody knows what that is. From April to November, the company would collect yard waste for same-day processing and shipment to this facility in Kendall County. The proposal was thoroughly reviewed by the Plan Commission, who recommended it to the village board for approval. The village board approved the development last month that included a 7-year lease agreement with conditions on aesthetics, noise, traffic, odor control, cleanliness, and other regulatory standards. The village is able to terminate this lease. The village is able to terminate this lease at any time for performance violations. This and other facilities like it are required to be permitted by the IEPA, but are not pollution control facilities. No composting of yard waste will take place at this facility. No composting, and I have to say this because we've got a lot of pressure put on us about this particular project. Yard waste transfer facilities are encouraged in the county's soil waste plan. As a more efficient and economical way to handle locally generated yard waste from homes and businesses, currently haulers and landscapers have to travel a distance to have their yard waste disposed of, which increases the overall cost of this service. When the facility becomes operational, landscape waste collectors will then be able to unload yard waste at a facility near the collection of Green Organics. Green Organics estimates the average traffic to be estimated at 25 to 37 trucks per day. That translates to 3 to 4 trucks per hour. The latest IDOT traffic count on Coon Road is 5,550 vehicles per day, with 1% of that being truck traffic. With this development, truck traffic will increase by approximately 0.5%, most of which will exit the facility south to North Avenue. You can find more details about this project on our homepage. Intergovernmental cooperation. The village works cooperatively with community organizations and local governments on various community building efforts. One recent example of our police department participating in the Carroll Stream Area Anti-Bullying Coalition, whose goal is to reinforce the expect, respect message in our community and school activities, including teaching successful anti-bullying strategies to teachers. Establishing a student anti-bullying leadership group with the sharing of training resources, ideas, and education materials. Village finances. The village is financially healthy. The current 3-year financial plan shows the general corporate fund balance in the current and 2 succeeding years. In addition, the village has no bond debt, no property tax, and sufficient reserves. Is the annual receipt of the GFOA Award for Excellence. That's, I think we've won that almost every year that we've done that, where they come in and go over our books. Transparency. In closing, I would like to highlight the village's efforts in the area of information transparency. The village works exceedingly hard to improve this aspect of governing, understanding that an informed citizenry makes for a dynamic community. The village's efforts in informing, sharing include posting meeting agendas on its webpage, taping and broadcasting the village board meetings on local cable access channel, creating the social media presence of Facebook and Twitter, posting the current and prior budgets on our webpage, posting the current and prior year financial audits on our webpage, regular publishing of an electronic newsletter that includes timely articles and links to keep the residents informed on local events. I'd like to thank you and for giving me the opportunity to be able to go over these things that we're working on in Carroll Stream. And I'd like to thank all the taxing bodies because we all work close together in this village, the fire district, all the school districts. We meet on a regular basis and we discuss a lot of things to make this a better village and a better place to live and raise your kids. And with that, I am done.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Now we'll get into the question part of the program. I'll read and/or summarize the questions up here and then direct them to the proper parties as we get them. And sometimes if there's a couple of them on the same issue, I may group them together. Also, I have to admit, I'm not always listening to what they're saying up here. I'm trying to read the questions so I make sure I can understand them in that. So I may ask a question that's already been talked about, so I leave it up to the people on the panel here if they would like to re-answer that question or just say you've already talked about it. But some of the people at home come in the middle of the program, so if you can re-answer it, it would be good. For the mayor, and you didn't get that many questions, so if you guys have questions for the mayors, please write them down quickly.
We got an hour, so get them in.
The village's current agreement with its electricity provider expires in February. Is anyone looking into extending it or finding another provider with a good rate for the residents?
Not sure how far out are we on that?
We work with NYMEC, they're a broker. We're in the process of reviewing our options. It's a pretty dynamic situation. As you may have seen in the newspaper, ComEd's prices actually have gone up, so the difference between what we have, and some communities actually have chosen not to rebid and just go back to the marketplace through ComEd. So we'll be assessing that. We've been working with our consultant, and we'll be making our decision shortly. That'll all be discussed with the village board, and we'll be in a position then to make a recommendation.
When does our current contract run out?
I believe it's February
February?
of 2015.
For the mayor, and there's two questions. They're basically the same. It deals with the status of the Fair Oaks bike path. The one person wrote, as a Carroll Stream citizen, I'm an avid runner and biker and run the same 5-mile path about 3 times a week, part of which is on the very unsafe Fair Oaks Road. I'd like to know the status on the path and when construction will begin.
Well, I think we're going through the process right now of due diligence to try and get the easement rights, is that correct?
Right-of-way acquisition right now. As was reported by the mayor, most of these projects are being grant funded. And I think as every taxing body would know and comment, with that comes strings, and we have to go through a federal process for the right-of-way acquisition. That means we have to review the right-of-way acquisition documents. We have to review the process and the people we use to set appraisals. So it's a pretty deliberate effort, but we are in the process of doing that and concurrently working on our engineering. So we're hopeful that sometime next year, the project will actually start moving more towards a construction phase. But until we get the easements, the project can't move forward. If there was a way to make it move quicker, believe me, we would.
Well, I think we're actually working with the Forest Preserve. We're working with unincorporated West Chicago. I mean, we're working with so many taxing bodies and people, and then we have to get the easement rights. But if you listen, we'll be able to go from Schmale and Lee's to Fair Oaks, and from Fair Oaks all the way down to Benjamin School. or take the path down St. Charles and go under to the Great Western Trail, which is a good thing. But it all takes time. This is not like, and people misunderstand, and I don't want to get on my box here, but this is different than running a business. You can sit at home and you could make a decision in your business anytime you want to. I run my business, and if I want to make a decision, I make it. When we want to make a decision, we have to ask everybody if it's okay. And I mean, it's probably the right way to do it, so the wrong things don't get done, but it really slows the process down. And when the process gets slowed down, everybody goes, well, why isn't it done? Not that we don't want it done. I mean, everybody wants a lot of our trustees ride their bikes on a regular basis. I mean, it's important. Everybody's looking at health and wellness and fitness. But it's not us, and it's not Wayne Township, and it's not the Forest Preserve. It's a combination of everybody getting everything together at one time to get it done.
Mayor Daley got Meigs Field taken care of in one night.
You know?
Just a joke, just a joke.
Yeah, well, I like that idea.
For U46 School District, after the annual 10% U46 property tax increase was put on my tax bill, a U46 board member stated their taxes did not rise. Mine went up several $100s. What kind of not-so-funny math is that?
Well, I think I made a comment about that before as far as the tax error is concerned. The Kane County Clerk's Office and the assessor are the ones that made that mistake. It was an error. And there will be, as far as DuPage County is concerned, that error will be corrected with next year's taxes. And then, like I said, unfortunately, probably the board member might have been from Kane County. And those taxes will have to, well, frankly, be increased as a result of that. So unfortunately, we're all kind of bearing the burden of this mistake from the assessor's office.
For the mayor, every day, including today, I see drivers on their cell phones. Do the police give any tickets for this, and how much is the fine?
I think the fine's $75, is that right? I'm not sure. I don't even know what the fine is.
Yes, cell phones.
So now, being that question's asked, I'm gonna defer this to the police department, if I could do that. When you set your stings up to do that, how many people do you catch on cell phones and no seatbelts? More than you could handle, is that correct?
The answer was
Was a
the
lot.
answer was a lot.
Yeah, the answer is a lot.
Well, it depends on where we're doing it. You know, in traffic volume, it's pretty much percentage still, but the numbers are much lower than for seatbelt usage, and people are getting nice and friendly about cell phones as well.
Joe, can you kind of just summarize that for the people at home?
We do actively enforce that law. It's frustrating, I think, for not only the police department, for all of us as motorists. We do think we're making some headway, but, and I'm paraphrasing this considerably, but it is something that we do, and specifically we do in school zones and other areas that have been designated by statute as areas for enforcement. So you will see our squad cars at every school throughout the school year, at other locations where it's a problem. I know we do it because I get calls from people that we do it. So it is something that we are aware of and we take a keen interest in.
I have the evidence right here. This car was written by somebody in the room. They were not on a cell phone calling it in, so they were safe. U46, almost half of my Social Security check goes to pay my U46 property taxes. In a different meeting, I found out that my U46 taxes are used to give Elgin parents $1,000 per family to send their children to U46 schools. Where is the fairness and the justice in this system?
Just for clarification, can you repeat, because I think that there's a misunderstanding about what that money goes to, or who that goes to.
It says, in a different meeting, I found out that my U46 taxes are used to give Elgin parents $1,000 per family to send their children to U46 schools.
Okay. I believe that this person might be referring to an initiative that we have that's to empower parents in our district. So it's a Hispanic leadership and African American leadership program that we have. We have talked about, and that's a very small program. It's not for every Elgin family, and it's not to encourage them to go to our schools. It has more to do with encouraging them to be a more of an active role in their child's life, and hopefully to also be providing the voice that they need to be helping their kids in the schools, helping their kids be better community participants, et cetera. Tony's kind of waving his.
No, I just wanted to just follow up. You answered exactly correct. It's important to note that U46 has spent less than $100,000 over 3 years through this program. It is a full-time commitment, not a full-time commitment, but an every Saturday of the year commitment for the families who participate. And when they've concluded, there are expectations for the work that they will do for the district. That said, that was a program that was in existence under my predecessor. We are changing the program moving forward so that we don't support individual parents, but rather give that stipend money then back to the school where the parent comes from for the school to use for school and community engagement versus the parent. So I wanted to clarify that part because I'm not sure if you're aware of that decision. So.
These two questions are addressed to the Park District, and not directly to the Park District, I guess, but basically asking, there's, I guess, one member on the board that's leading a campaign against the landscape facility. Is this a position the Park District is taking, or is that just an individual's right to do their things? And also, would the facility being close by save the Park District money?
To answer the first question, we are all protected by the First Amendment. That's free speech. The individual on the park board is expressing his right as an American citizen for free speech. He does not speak for the board. The board, when somebody speaks for the board, it's either the president or the director. What was the second question, Jack?
Would the Park District save money because the facility would be so close to them?
The Park District has no relationship to the transfer facility. The Park District is across the street from the proposed site for the waste facility, and that is on land that the mayor has previously said is leased to the company running that transfer station.
And this is for everybody up here, so jump right in and try to be first to answer, I guess. Since 2008, the fastest and largest growing industry in the U.S. economy is local property taxing districts. Why is that when so much of the economy is sluggish and lagging? Feel free to jump in.
Read that again. I
Sure.
don't know if I really understood what you said.
Since 2008, the fastest and largest growing industry in the U.S. economy is local property taxing districts. Why is that the case when so much of the economy is sluggish and lagging? I think they're talking about raising property taxes.
I could understand, and I could answer that real easy. We don't have a property tax in Carroll Stream. We're one of the few communities left. We learned to live within our means, and we are set probably for the next several years, thanks to the board and our staff, that we don't have to assess a property tax. I can't speak for everybody else, but we live within our means, and that is what we are here for. Anyone else? That was easy.
Okay. Different districts have different ways of getting their revenues. For all the school districts, DuPage County is the 23rd highest school property. DuPage County has the 23rd highest school property taxes in the nation. Why can't school districts here speak with out-of-area school districts to see what they are doing so right, and DuPage County school districts are doing so wrong? It's not directed to any one district?
You know what? I think I answered this question last year. I think it was exactly worded the same way. It's hard to answer the question because you don't know what they're comparing it to. I don't think we're doing anything wrong here. I think our financial, the people who are in our financial offices work very hard to keep their expenditures in line. We are under the property tax limit here, so we can only raise our taxing rate by the CPI or less than 5%. So we work really hard to keep, and we aren't spending our money extravagantly. So a question like that is just really hard to answer. I just think we are doing a good job. I mean, you heard what people are doing here. You don't get that recognition if you're not keeping your expenditures and your revenues in line.
I'll add to that also, that state by state, they all have different formulas on how school funding is done. Illinois is particularly low. I think it's 48th or 49th out of 50 in terms of the amount of money contributed by the state. So most of the funding does come from local property taxes. So that's one of the reasons. And there's some actually moves currently that would actually increase that amount. Senate Bill 16, which has been proposed, would transfer a lot of money out of DuPage County into southern Illinois and into Chicago, and leave local districts here with a lot less money. I know District 94 would lose about 84% of our state funding under that plan, and that would be just devastating to education. So we're keeping an eye on that, but every state is going to be different on how it funds the schools.
I would add, I think that a lot of people don't appreciate that U46 is the second largest district in the state. It's not just your typical district, it's big.
I've learned something. I didn't know that. Jim, since you were talking, next question is for you. As a busy mom of young children, I was wondering if the Carroll Stream Library would offer a pickup service similar to the Hold program. This would allow moms and other residents to walk in and pick up books quickly at the front desk and leave rather than dragging small children who often can't keep their hands to themselves all over the library to locate books. This would also lessen the possibility of books being misplaced on shelves, which creates more work for the library staff.
I'll defer to Susan on that, since
Well, I've never even heard of that type of a service. I know some libraries have like drive-up windows where you can like call ahead. I'm thinking she's thinking of something kind of like at a Chili's or something where they pull up and then you run out with their food and we would run out with their books. We'd have to look into something like that, how you would man it. Anything like that involving a new service, of course, would involve, more staffing and involves, us reallocating our funds in a different way. But it's an interesting idea.
This person was willing to come to the front desk and get them, but just not have to
okay.
take the kids into the whole library and let the kids
okay.
running around disturbing things, so.
well, it
Well,
may,
I think
good
that's
idea.
something we could do right now. If they called ahead and told us what they wanted, we would be happy to pull the materials and have them waiting for them at the desk, so that busy mom, go ahead and give us a call. We'd be happy to do that for you.
Great. For the Park District, the Park District serves 4 other school districts beside District 93. Other residents not in District 93 feel alienated from the community and Park District programs that are offered, like days off school and spring break childcare and classes. It is even more frustrating as a taxpayer to pay out of resident rates to be involved with the Park District activities on days off because they aren't available in the community. Is the Park District willing to look into this further and be more inclusive of all schools in Carroll Stream?
We'd love to hear your input. That's a very good idea, and if you can approach our front desk and ask them for a survey card or suggestion card, we'd be glad to look into that, and that's one of the things that we'd like to offer, so that we can include everybody who's in the local school districts if you don't live in Carroll Stream.
For District U46, what is District U46's plan to get computers into the schools for the PARC testing that is now required? How will you determine which schools get them first? What enrichment programs are you giving to students who are not familiar with computers or typing?
Mr. Sanders, would you like to field that one? Thank you.
So as was noted earlier, we did order 2,800 new computers for this school year that are being deployed right now. For the park assessments, and I'll defer to my superintendent colleagues up here, but I believe for the park assessments, which is the new test that kids are going to have to take every year, the first round will be in paper for the most part, at least from my understanding, because most districts don't have the technology infrastructure to offer the test electronically. So we do continue to purchase more computers. We are not to the point where we're one-to-one like other school districts. To do that, first and foremost, we have to invest in our wireless infrastructure. Unless you have the wires running and the routers and the access points throughout all of our buildings, our 53 schools, you can buy the devices, but they're meaningless because they're just going to sit there and spin with no access to the internet. So I hope that answers the question.
Are there any programs to help students who are not familiar with computers or typing?
So we're really looking right now as to how we push technology back into the classrooms. Right now, for example, elementary schools, we have computer labs, but that requires kids to leave their classroom, go down to the lab. We're looking for alternate ways to try to get technology pushed into the classroom so kids have more opportunities to type and learn how to respond via computer. But I can't say we have firm plans at this point.
Okay. And the last part of that was, how do you determine which schools get the computers first, the 2,600?
They're deployed based on essentially the age of the computers in the schools where they're currently located. So we'll try to deploy to the schools that have the oldest computers. Up until this last year, because of the budget reductions that we all went through, experienced in 2008, 2009, we actually had computers that were 7 or 8 years old, which is the equivalent of a paperweight, I believe, is it by definition.
And one more question for U46. Why do Title I dollars not follow each student that they are intended for? When a school is sitting at 34% low income, the funds could help the school immensely with the resources needed to support many of the students the money was intended for, instead of waiting until the school hits 40% plus to help the children. This practice does not seem to fall in line with all of the equality that is being pushed with Common Core and other standards. Is this left for each district to decide, or is it mandated by state or government?
So that would be mandated by state or government. The federal Title I dollars we get, they're very specific percentages that we have to reach in terms of the number of kids who are free or reduced lunch before the total school would qualify for Title I dollars. So it's based on federal formulas, not a local decision.
So it's really out of your control?
It's out of our control.
The requirements.
And I guess I would say that it's my assumption that those dollars do follow the students. I mean, when they're, because that was the first part of the question, right, Jack?
Yes.
Okay. So that when, when you're looking at establishing a Title I program, it's usually with a Title I school where those students are there with free and reduced lunch status, so.
For the Park District, who pays for the damage caused by the leaking roof on the new rec center?
Well, thanks for that question. As a matter of fact, the damage was done by a subcontractor, and we have filed our insurance claim, and it's being handled by our insurance carrier along with the subcontractor's insurance carrier. So the insurance companies will pay for that.
For the fire district, is there a conflict of interest to have Fire Training Resources, Inc. hold training for free at the fire department?
I will defer that to Rick, our chief.
No, we work cooperatively with a lot of different agencies, and we share the resources back and forth, and there is no conflict whatsoever.
Another one for the fire district. The previous year's budget was $50,000 for legal fees. It was exceeded by 4 times that. This year's budget is for $58,000 in legal fees. Why didn't they budget for more, and where does the money come from?
Due to some unscheduled personnel issues that have occurred and litigation that has followed, we've had to reach into our capital fund, or I should say our operation fund for the funds for the excessive legal fees. We have appropriated proper amounts in this new budget, and that's where we're at right now.
For U46, you're popular tonight. Why is our student safety at risk at Spring Trail Elementary? Basically, the real question is, why will U46 district not step up and fund a crossing guard for Spring Trail Elementary?
First of all, I guess I'm really happy to be answering these questions, or the ones that I can, or defer to Mr. Sanders. These are some really good and important questions, but I think Mr. Sanders has more information on that one.
So 2 years ago, we actually ended the crossing guard at Spring Trail Elementary School. We've been working with the Village of Carroll Stream, and I have to thank Joe Brinig and the mayor for their support at the site and trying to make sure that we ensure student safety. In U46, we span 11 different communities. Our 40 elementary schools, 8 middle schools, and 5 high schools. All of our other municipalities pick up the cost of crossing guards. The city of Elgin does, Village of Bartlett does. When we ended the crossing guard in Carroll Stream, those were the discussions, because we were getting pushback from our other communities that we did not pay for their crossing guards, and they wanted us to start doing the same thing. So we did end the crossing guard at Spring Trail. We worked with the community, we worked with the police and the mayor to try to make it a safe environment for our students. And there are plans in place at the school to ensure students are safe as they cross over to Spring Trail Elementary School.
If I,
Go
if
ahead.
I can add, this is probably a very good example of intergovernmental cooperation. We just attended a meeting, a PTO meeting at the school, met with parents and representatives of the district, and discussed what could be done. The flip side of this is we don't pay for crossing guards in Carroll Stream, so the school districts do. But rather than have us stare at each other and shake our fists, we focused on what could be done to solve a problem, or a perceived problem. And so what we've agreed to do is move the crosswalk in cooperation with the school district, jointly share the costs. We're moving a crosswalk. We're in the process of physically relocating it to a location that everyone seems to agree is safer. And the school district is relocating a bus stop at the school for the middle school. So we're doing everything that we can to make the environment safer and physically altering it for students who cross at that location.
Great. And this is just a maintenance thing for U46. Why are the lights in the parking lot not on when it gets dark?
I would need to know which facility, which location we're looking at. During the budget cuts,
They can,
That's the same school with the crossing.
yeah, it just Spring.
It is at Spring Trail. So during our budget reductions, one of the things back in 2008 that we did was power down our lights at the parking lot lights in the facilities, unless there's a meeting or something else that's occurring at the building, just reduce our electricity consumption.
So the night that we were, and I don't take this the wrong way, the night that we were there for the meeting, the PTO meeting, when we walked out, there was no lights on. And some of the women came back in very, like, I'm not walking out there, you can't see anything in the parking lot. So if that's the case, there should have been someone to flip the switch while we were there.
Absolutely.
We spent 2 hours with your, and again, I don't want to jump in here, but I got to tell you, we were there, Joe Brannick, my village manager, Deputy Chief Hoffman, and Trustee Fruzaloni and I sat in that meeting for 2 hours. We don't pay for crossing guards. We got caught in the middle of this, just like you did. If you do it, you got to do it for everybody, and if we do it, we got to do it for everybody. I don't have $150,000 to $170,000 to pay for crossing guards. I don't have the money. Simple. Maybe that's why we have no property tax, because we don't, I mean, we don't just take it and run it. The schools have done an excellent job of using their money to be able to put crossing guards out there. I don't know, you didn't mention the signs. We're putting signs up there also. I mean, there's things that we've done at the school already, but I don't know what else we could do there. I don't have $150,000 to pay for crossing guards. And I don't blame the other schools if they came after us if we did that school. So you're caught where you don't do it anyplace else, and we're caught because we don't do it here.
Yeah, there's no question we were both caught.
We worked together to get it done, and your principal in that school is a gem, I can
She
tell
is.
you that. Because
She
she
is.
stood there and took a beating from those people and really kept her cool. And I thought we did everything we could to make that better for those people. Our police officers are gonna train the patrol boys that are there so they can really understand what they're doing instead of a teacher going out and training them. And I appreciate that. So we're working together on that. We're trying to get that worked out.
In regards to the light issue, I do want to follow up. If there was, anytime there's an evening meeting, if our plant operations department knows the meeting is happening then those lights will be on, and I'll follow up to make sure that they know that the process is clear so that they know that the lights should be on.
Okay. For the Park District, your new center and indoor pool are beautiful. I cannot use the pool because it is closed between 1 and 4 p.m. weekdays. If that could be changed, I would be grateful. Can that happen?
We'd love to accommodate you, but we're forced by budget restraints, the time that we have to assign guards there and stuff. I don't know if there's other reasons. Jim, do you know of any reason?
No, I'll look into it though, Tim. I don't know the reason that it'd be closed, other than there might be programs that are there and wouldn't allow for certain activities to take place because the programs are utilizing the pool.
Thank you.
And one follow-up for the Park District, why did the new swimming pool have to be closed for 2 weeks after being open for just 1 year?
That is normal maintenance, to make sure we have a beautiful pool and a safe pool.
For U46, or District 46, during the Great Recession, District 46 increased the percentage of their tax levy due to the high foreclosure rate and property values dropping. Now that home values are on the rise and foreclosures are significantly down, will U46 be lowering their percent of the tax levy to pre-recession levels? If not, what will be done with the additional revenues this substantial tax increase will bring in?
That's a weird question, I have to tell you. I mean,
I think I got it, though. I'm not sure, Tony, you can help me out with this, but from what I understand, that this budget that we're looking at is proposing, at this point in time, no more than a 1%. And I'm not sure if that's pre-recession numbers or not, but it's certainly lower than last year's levy that we asked for.
This is, I think, where some of the confusion comes in. There is no pre-recession
that's right.
amount. There is no pre-recession amount. We have, every taxing body that uses the property tax system actually sets an amount. This is the amount of dollars that we need to operate from local property taxes. If your house value goes up or down, the only thing that changes is the tax rate that the assessors apply to the property. So when your property values are going down, I think people mistakenly believe that their property taxes will go down, and that's not the case. What happens then is the tax rate goes up to make up for your falling property taxes. So in terms of the EAV, we are allowed by law to go up by the cost of inflation. At this point, that is what our budget is built around. Although that being said, we do not propose a levy to the board until November or December. So it could change.
For the Fire District, over $4 million was spent to purchase vehicles, ambulances, etc. All were purchased from a sole source without being put out to bid. What guarantees are there that these are the best possible prices? The vendor was not part of the state collective.
Rick?
I don't know what the span of time was for the $4 million worth of expenditures, but the fact is The vehicles are so specific in the way they're built, they're constructed, they're produced, and that it requires sole source. Now, that's going to change in January, where we're going to be mandated to go to bid. However, as the bid process is with the fewest amount of exemptions on the bidders, we'll go with the best specifications based on the fewest exemptions. We feel that we've had some of the best vehicles that we could have purchased at the lowest cost. We have not gone with the typical large name brand vehicles. We've taken some of the smaller producers of these vehicles. We've worked with them. They've worked with us, and we've got the highest level of protection, dependability, and our safety and protection of the village and the district.
For the fire district, you're getting pretty popular too. The fire department awarded a pension to a paramedic who was terminated for negligence. What are you doing to prevent this from happening again?
We're going to classify that as personnel, and I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay, that's very understandable. And I think the rest of these are all pretty much personnel issues, so we'll pass on those also. And I'm out of questions, but I think there's one more coming. Okay. For the Park District, last question. Award-winning pools in DuPage County don't close for 2 weeks a year. What is special about ours?
I think I answered that previously, and that was normal maintenance to keep the pool safe and beautiful.
Okay. We'd like to thank all of our speakers and you, the audience, for your participation in the 6th Annual Shape of Carroll Stream Town Meeting. It's not easy being up here and having to answer all of these questions. Let's give the speakers a round of applause, please. We look forward to next year's program. Thank you and good night.